plenty happened over the last week. We talked about most of it on Friday with all the extensions and stuff, but we also did get our first win of the season. So Reese, you want to flip over to the news? I'll tell you about Odd Company. Proud partners on Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for the next big game. You next go to Lager, find out either Odd Company location here in Edmonton or at liquorconnect.com. Search out a liquor store near you that sells it. Go on in, stock up. If they don't, ask them why. And if you're wondering why I can't say words in English sometimes, don't worry about it.
Liquor stir.
Just don't worry about it. All right. I want to start off with what happened on Saturday night. Oilers picked up their first win of the season, 3-1 final over the Vancouver Canucks, though had it not been for Thatcher Demko, that is a 5-6-7-1 game.
Yeah, and I would say both of their first 2 games of the year, if it wasn't for the men in pads wearing the other colors, probably both decisive blowout victories.
I thought Demko was good, but I thought he was like solid. I didn't think he really stood on his head. I thought that our opportunities, we didn't really go to areas where you can score. We weren't really trying to get him under the bar. I felt like a lot of the saves he made, he just kind of came across and kind of hit him square in the body. Like he wasn't making,
but he comes across so fast.
Yeah, and nothing against that at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there trying to bring him down or something, but I just felt like we needed a little more creativity or a little more offense in our offense. I feel like we could have been better offensively with our opportunities.
What do you think, Tyler?
I disagree with that. I think Demko was really, really good. I think you look at a guy like David Tomas that could have scored 3 goals in a 10-minute stretch. It felt like there. He just kept getting opportunities in front. And the save on Draisaitl was unbelievable.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Draisaitl alone was great. Yeah,
and the Oilers, I think part of the reason why they weren't getting a lot of second opportunities is because Demko was just so sound that he was just swallowing up pucks and getting faceoffs and kicking them out of play. Like the Oilers deserved to win a meter-wise, expected goals-wise. Should have won that game 6-1. They were far and away the better team. And like I said, it's been back-to-back games where they've been far and away the better team. And that's really encouraging because 12 months ago and 24 months ago, we weren't sitting here in October going, boy, do they ever look good.
Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, I feel like the Oilers made Wolf look better than they did Demko. I think Demko I think that game started off like I felt like it was going to be a blowout in the first period. And then Demko kind of seemed to lock into the second and the third and kept them in it. Whereas I felt like Wolf was not getting tested. I feel like what you were saying, Rick, about Demko, I think was true about Wolf. So, and then in the shootout, I think we made Wolf look amazing. Like one of the most agile goalies in the NHL right now. And we had him moving around the crease, just showing off how good his movement is. So anyways, I just think that, I think that the Oilers I think that they did a better job against Vancouver, and it gives me hope for this road trip that we're on now.
What do we got?
Not too much more to add. I think it's just good that the Oilers have found ways to dominate large portions of both games. And I know Vancouver and Calgary are both fringe playoff teams, but still, you got to go out there and you got to play well. I know they blew it against Calgary, but that was, I think, a couple of bad bounces more than anything. So yeah, I'm excited for them to go on this road trip. I think they'll do pretty well because they're a good team.
The thing that just to wrap it up, the game from Saturday, the Oilers had 37 shots on goal to the Canucks 15. And I would even suggest a lot of those 15 came like score effects late in the game.
Yeah.
That was dominant. Vancouver couldn't produce jack shit. And that was very entertaining to me because I was also peeping on over to the Vancouver Canucks subreddit. I was on Twitter, cruising around. They did not handle it well, friends.
Good. Because they're bad.
They are bad. They got blown out by St. Louis last night as well, 5-2. So,
and even the goal Sherwood, I think, scored the second goal. It wasn't like a generated opportunity. It was like a lucky breakaway. And I mean, you got to finish it, but it's just like they're not creating opportunities for themselves. They're kind of just like coming out of the blue.
Other thing I want to talk about, Tyler Myers fined $2,500 for a cup check on Connor McDavid.
It was a slash.
It was $2,500. I get it's in the CBA. That doesn't do anything for a guy I'll look it up right now, but Tyler Myers has probably made $60 million.
Well, he was on a bad contract for a long time too, which shows how much money he made. That was crazy that the refs missed it karma came pretty quick after when he just fired it over the glass. But it should have been a 4-minute power play for the Oilers because the Spearing is 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
2 double minors. And then he also tries to decapitate the official while coming off the ice. So that should have been $25 right there.
$2,500.
$25.
Well, $25.
That is
whatever.
basically how
That's
the-
basically what it is equivalent to, isn't it? It's just, I don't know. It's so unnecessary. Like, for the league just to kind of blow by that. I understand you miss calls in the game and stuff like that, but the player safety portion of it is like, okay, you can't just have guys putting sticks between legs and just lifting up.
The league needs to call down on these ones, kind of like they do in the NFL. I think I'm just at the point now
Booth
where
review.
yeah, but like no, they don't like call it that. What do they call it? Like ref assistance or whatever it is.
Replay assist.
Yeah, that's what kind of what we need in the NHL.
Ron
Right?
Brindamore's talked about that. Like, there's not a lot of space on the ice. Have one ref on the ice.
I've been down with this.
Have
thing.
one sitting on a monitor.
No, 100%. We brought that up 2 years ago, maybe or something like that. What he said, and I'm all for that.
I'm actually against it because the idea of there being more stoppages. Like, I think there are naturally like 5 to 6 penalties in a hockey game that go uncalled. And I think over the balance of a year, things do work for and against you enough that it'll balance out. Maybe in the playoffs, it's something they add in. But I'd be very annoyed. I do want more power plays in the game, but I'd be very annoyed if like you're watching a game and all of a sudden we have to get used to like a
The horn.
ding.
Yeah, that-
and then
okay,
the
that
rest goes
part's-
over. Replay assist at 13:41 of the second period, and then we got to like replay 2 minutes of the game because like someone had a tripping penalty 90 seconds ago that it took us 90 seconds to figure out. Like,
Well, it definitely can't take 90 seconds. That's way too much time
Yeah.
for a replay assist.
I wonder if they could do stuff if they were to do where it's like they can't call minor penalties. They have to be a major, like a double.
yeah, that's fair.
That's-
Almost like what they do with the current review of
yeah,
like
the 5 or
Yeah,
the 4, and then you work your way down.
you can work down, but you can't work up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
that's maybe a good way to do it.
In case you're
I-
wondering, did a little napkin math over here from our friends at Puckpedia. Tyler Myers has made over $90 million when this
Hot damn.
current contract wraps up.
I just think, and the broadcast brought it up, I'm annoyed by the fact that Connor wanted to have a reaction there, I think, and gutturally the team could have a reaction there or should be able to, but the very actions of one Vancouver Canuck, Connor Garland, last year caused a reaction from Connor that then caused him to be punished by the Department of Player Safety.
I think you probably get a
Yeah.
different look at it because Tyler Myers is the size of a building.
Yep.
Connor Garland is a garden gnome.
Yep. But I just think that that's where like the league has the ability, and hockey has this inherent ability to be able to police itself, and the team just feels like they can't do that anymore, and they just have to trust the Department of Player Safety is going to do it, and we're left, holding the bag of.
I don't think we
he
really
got
have a
fined.
guy on the
Yeah.
team that's going to drop him in a situation like that.
I would agree that
They
we
tried to do it twice in that game.
probably don't have a guy that can necessarily drop Myers.
Very
But-
few teams do. To be
but
Yeah,
that's
like
the thing.
nobody's
Yeah.
going to
That require a
voluntarily go into
fucking
that.
axe and
But
a flannel
a step
jacket.
ladder.
But again, the game of hockey has this thing where you can just go and get somebody else on the team, and
And don't get me wrong, I'm not
Right.
definitely not against that. I think this team probably just wants to like, hey, fine, let's take the penalty and let's go get the power play. The more you start going at their better players, which I'm all for, we have to realize that we have 2 of the greatest players in the world right now that
Yeah.
somebody else wants, and they have like 2 options for us.
I disagree. And
On
we
what?
just had this. Well, explain to me what you're saying. Are you saying that the Oilers aren't
I don't think we have
Willing
anybody
to
who's
go-
really going to go fight. We'll get into
nervous?
scrums and
but-
stuff, but I don't think anyone's really there to drop the gloves. I do think like a guy like Nurse might be kind of grown out of it a bit to the
No.
point where you get a little bit older, you're not willing to do it anymore. And I don't think we really have a guy who is young, hungry, full of piss and vinegar, willing to drop the gloves.
what is Trent
like a-
Frederick for?
I don't
don't
really
think
know
they
who
see
he
him
is
like-
yet. I
Yeah.
don't really know about
But-
him.
That's the role that he played in Boston, and
But that's different than here though. And
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's the type of player that he is. I haven't seen enough out of him yet.
I guess like to me, liberties are going to happen to Connor and Leon, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And whether we
Yeah.
go out and retribute for that, it's going to happen.
And I still think I'm pretty sure they have in a room is like, hey guys, let's not really retaliate because we'd rather do this 5-on-4.
I
and get
actually
'em-
think that changed this season already because Nurse went after Kane after he slammed Regula into the boards.
Clean hit, but yeah, they just kind of hugged each
No,
other.
actually, a really dirty hit.
What?
I thought it was a
net?
very clean hit.
That was clean.
It was-
Kane on Regula?
It was right into
Forearm
his
to the
name
numbers? Yeah, I thought that
Regula had
was.
nowhere to the go.
I
Like
thought that
I
should've been
think it was like
penalty.
a bit unfortunate for Kane in the sense of Regula kind of stopped, but Louis DeBrusque brought up the point of our show was like that's how Cheeto was injured and just like left. He was done for the season after he got nailed that
Sorry,
way.
I was thinking about the one where he came behind
The
there.
one
They-
behind the net. I,
I
think
thought we were
was-
talking about the one.
Sorry,
behind
no,
it.
I was
yeah,
talking
that's the
about
one.
the other
There, he
one.
was rocked twice, and the
Yeah.
first one was
Yeah,
definitely
that's
in the
funny.
numbers a bit, but
Yeah.
the second one was.
The
I
second,
thought it was clean.
I
It was
think
clean.
Regula was looking down at the puck. And
So
you
was
gotta
I.
keep your head up.
Yeah,
So
he
that
did.
one
Yep.
was fine. But also
Oops.
on that too, like Philp and Emerson right on top of it. We saw it in game one. A little bit of a different situation, but Howard slashes the glove of Wolf. Uyghur goes after Howard and not Trent Frederick. What's his name? Adam Henrique. Right on top of him immediately. I think in the past it has been like that, but now I think it's a little bit different. I think they have a bit more of like a mob mentality. Is probably a bit too extreme to say about it, but I think
No, it
they're
makes
trying to get
sense,
out
though,
there. Of
because
like,
we
we're
don't
not
have
going to
a-
back down.
With the mob mentality does make sense in this situation because you don't really have a big time fighter. So if we're gonna do this and I'm gonna go get in there, I need to know that at least two of you be all right behind me.
Like
Because I really don't want to sit here and eat these punches all. for
I
a
do like
while.
you brought it, like Henrik. That's a good example of it though. Like he was chomping at the bit to get in on that scrum.
right in on it immediately. Like Dan, I'm curious to know how often do the Tampa Bay Lightning fight? Because I feel like, and I know
Outside
this,
of games against Florida.
outside of preseason games against Florida, I feel like they're a team we always look at
They
and
got
we're
their
like,
quota for the year.
yeah, they fight like they're up for them, get up for each other. But I think when you actually think about it, it's like they just jump in on everybody.
It's difficult to quantify as much just because they don't have like the typical fighters.
But like Hagel, I feel like Darren Radish is someone
I'm
who's like
scrolling
not
through
afraid.
all the Florida
But I
versus Tampa.
I can't see
matchups.
us to have a guy
Yeah.
like Hagel who's willing to go and scrum it up in the corner.
They had it looks like they had about 15, 16 fights last year. Names like Gergensen, Braden Point,
That's a
Yanni
weird one.
Gord, couple Yanni
Point fight?
Gord,
I've got it up here for you. Dan.
Chernak.
Easier on laptop,
Who is
actually.
point fighting?
So last year, according to hockeyfights.com, the Lightning had 20 fights last year.
There you go.
They had 11 in the preseason this year.
Is that just the one game?
And that is a
Pretty
good point though,
much.
Liam, because those names that you see there, like Isamon, I guess is a fighter, but most of those names are just guys that show up.
But they
and
have
grab a
that. They
guy
have that
and
blue collar
for
to
it.
them, where I don't think we have that same mentality.
I think it's getting there.
It's just the guys you bring in, though. It's just it's the personalities of the players. You really don't have and I don't want to call him a hothead, but you see a guy like Hagel, and we watched him in the Four Nations or whatever. You saw him get like
He gets fired up.
agitated and fired
Yeah.
up. Now, if you look at the Oilers, I don't think anybody really does that. And that's kind of one thing that's annoyed me for so long, because there are times where you're like, hey, go bang bodies and let's get the energy going. And that's not really what they do. They'd rather go out there and make tic-tac-toes and go score goals to get the game going.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more of that type of play, but look at that roster's right in front of you there and find me one guy on there that you think is like that. And outside of Trent Frederick, who we don't really know what to expect, it ain't gonna be Kapanen. Pods is a maybe.
I'd love to
Ike's
see
not gonna
from
be
Paul
Ike. It's
Colson.
not gonna be Henrique. It's not gonna be Tomaszek. You know, we're working our way
I
up
don't
here.
think it's any of them.
Exactly. And
But I
was-
just think that's also a good thing, because how many penalties does Hagel take because of
and,
his
and yeah, that's
attitude,
and that's your
Yeah.
trade off
yeah,
there too, right?
yeah.
Yeah, interesting fact for the Tampa Bay Lightning, in their entire time as a franchise, the second most fights they've had is against the Ottawa Senators at 69. The most
Nice,
fights they've
nice.
had is the Florida Panthers at 103. So
The rivalry's
almost
alive.
35 more fights than any other team.
It's very hot
against
down there.
Florida.
They
Yeah.
get very agitated because
Glad
of
we
the
don't
heat.
get to see that matchup till mid-November.
A couple other things just from Saturday's game, just to wrap it up quick before we move along. You guys brought it up, the one behind the net.
Mhm.
Is that just a free lesson to Alec Regula
Mhm.
about the trolley tracks? Because
Mhm.
to me,
Yes.
that was a clean hit, big one,
Huge.
but that was on Regula.
The second one is like, yeah, man, keep your head up. Like that's gonna happen. The first one, Kane is on his numbers from on top of the goal line down. Like that's a hit from behind.
I agree. But on the second one, it was close to a headshot too, but only because Regula was basically just like half himself.
There's an elbow there that I initially kind of saw, but when you see the side angle, the elbow like goes into his arm and then lifts up. So yeah, that second hit's just a hit.
To
That's a
me,
big
like
hit, yeah.
that was one of those ones where someone needs to tell Alec Regula, like,
I don't think anyone needs to tell him. I think he was told.
but it's like you need to know who's on the ice.
Yeah, be aware. And he does get a little bit of become a bit of a space cadet behind his net, I found. And both those incidences were him behind the net, like not fully looking around.
He didn't play a game last year, did he?
No, and like he's the
He'll
pace
find
is
it.
everything. Yeah, but like I don't know. I feel like
They don't hit you
keeping-
that hard in practice
Yeah.
in the preseason.
keeping your
That
head
was
up
like-
is like part of hockey.
That'll wake you up.
So he's out of the lineup today. This just
He got called out for the concussion in the game.
Well, I was gonna. That
Yeah.
was my next question. He's not in today's lineup. Is this just a lineup change, or is there some sort of lingering from that game?
Chris Knobloch said today he expects him to be back in the lineup at some point this week.
I think that means injury.
Well, no, because if it's a
Or
head,
it
you're
could
like,
be a thing
I don't
like,
know, it could be
I want to
anytime.
get. Well, it depends because again, I don't believe anything anybody says because
point.
his thing
I
could
believe
probably
what
be
Connor
like
says.
always.
He didn't want to leave.
But like he could be like, oh, this is a planned thing because we want to get Troy Stetcher in.
Kind of like
Which
they
was
did.
exactly what he said about Pickard on Saturday.
Yeah, words out of my mouth.
Which I think was true.
It probably was.
Who knows?
I
But again, I don't believe him.
Chris Knobloch's my
But it
favorite
probably
liar in
was.
the world.
I honestly think they had that first game 1, game 2 starters set up well before that.
They probably did, but I don't believe it. The other thing, just to cap it off, a shout out to Noah Philp. First NHL goal came against a very good goalie. You love to see it for the kid. That's it.
He's a great story. I love him.
And he's scratched tonight.
he
Yep.
he is the line of Kapanen, Philp, and Podkolzin are the only line to be on the ice for a 5-on-5 goal against, and they've been on for 2. No one else has been on for 1. One of them was obviously when one went off his heel and into the net,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate, but still.
I mean, I love Noah Philp. If he's got to sit tonight and Kapanen sits the net, like
There's
the
going to be
Oilers,
some in and out.
the Oilers have so many good players. Like
Yeah.
someone good is going to be sitting. Kapanen doesn't deserve to be benched. Philp doesn't deserve to be benched. They're both good players who could be everyday NHLers on a lot of teams. They're just on the Edmonton Oilers.
But then we also get to the situation where when Janmark comes off the IR, which is supposed to be at some point soon, and Wallman comes off the IR, it's just going to be interesting roster decisions here.
I have a
Hyman November 1st.
I have a prediction.
Go ahead.
Regula goes on the IR. I don't just feel like they're just going to keep pushing this problem as far down the road as they can get
So
it.
like they'll be like, yeah, Regula's going on IR right as
Yeah,
Wallman comes
concussion.
back, retroactive to last Sunday, so he's only going to miss like 2 games, and then
Yeah,
they'll sit there and wait for someone else to get hurt.
I think that's just what's going to happen.
The more
That's how they-
fascinating one is still Janmark, who Knobloch said, I'm sure I'm stealing what you were going to say next, but Knobloch did say this weekend potentially.
Yeah, and he could be back this weekend.
So
And yeah, Wallman Thursday, I think.
interesting. Yeah, Wallman is targeted for Thursday against the Islanders. So interesting moves coming. One thing I was going to ask you boys, did you notice there's new win awards this year
The
or the player things?
Mm-hmm.
yes,
It's a construction vest. And what's the other thing? Is it a
Wrench.
hammer?
no, it's for an oil drake,
Oil wrench.
not oil drake, Derek or whatever they're called.
I thought it was a
Oil
wrench.
You can tell we're big patch guys here.
I don't know. I haven't worked hard.
The
in my
oil
life,
thingy.
so- The oil thing. Yeah, Knobloch spoke about it. Let me just find it quickly. It's
All
right-
I know is that construction fest, boys, is where'd you buy that thing? It's looking a little ragged.
I think it's part of it.
Might
Jeez.
be. They found
Do
that
we have
one
a
on the
breakdown
road.
of what each award means?
I was looking, I didn't see it. What is
Okay,
it?
I'll quote.
Pump jack.
Part of a pump jack. Oil country, okay? Part of the reason is it pulls the oil out of the ground.
It's
This
supposed
is all Knobloch.
It's the big arm at the top of
Yeah.
the pump jack.
Thinking
Ah.
about this award is somebody made something happen. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Pulled something together. You know, obviously there's a lot of good plays tonight, but someone needs something to happen. 4-on-4, Nuge outbattles his guy. Hold on. Set up
you're reading
Mange
the
for the
caption.
goal.
It sounds like
That's what it's
Knobloch's
going to do.
second language is English. First language is hockey.
I was like,
Nuge
what is
won.
going on?
Nuge
So,
was- oh, the
I-
vest. The vest. Hardest worker, blue collar. Knobloch's explaining all of this. This is what we are, all right? Could go to a lot of guys.
Do you want to put this video on
I'll-
1.5 times so you can read faster?
A lot of guys
I mean,
block
keep pausing it.
shots and lots of back checks. A lot of plays. Blue collar stuff that doesn't usually get recognized. Probably not on the score sheet. Probably didn't score a goal. There's a lot of things. Hell of a defensive play or something like that. Almost maybe running around, hitting all night. Stuff like that.
We're gonna get copyrighted by the Oilers
And
because
I
this is
think
gonna sound like
about
Knobloch.
a place tonight late in the game.
Oh, he keeps skipping lines.
Something
They
like
have
that.
some shots. 2-1-2. He says in front, eats a puck. Doc. That's down at us.
I feel like both
All right.
words are the same thing.
That was hard to read. He talks slow.
So yeah, for those of you who don't know, Liam didn't have the quotes written out. He was watching the video and reading the subtitles in real time.
So can we get a translation, please, Tyler, or whatever that was?
Wrench or pipe?
It's a part of
It's the top of the oil derricks
the
that you
pump
see,
jack.
the
You speak
traditional.
Liam on a daily basis. What was
So it looks like a big hammer. And that's going to go to people that do plays that are unheralded usually
Yes.
and are blue collar working. No, not
That's
blue
the
collar.
best.
Blue collar is the other
That's
one.
Should I read it again?
They're like the pump jack. But then the vest is going to go to plays that are unheralded, usually don't get a lot of credit and are hardworking.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Or 2-on-1s.
I feel like they're
Something
both
that.
the plumber awards. There's no more painter.
It really does feel like, yeah, we just removed the painter and made it another plumber.
Yeah, essentially.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.